So Isaac, you are on YouTube, and I'm being your question. Hi, Magdi. Would we say that the reality of experience cannot be experienced? So, Isaac, when we are speaking about what is the reality of our experience, and we all know that when we are talking about reality, we're not talking about something that changes, and we're not talking about something that is more real or less real with time or with space. And we also know that we're not talking about some idea or some concept of reality. And we also know that there is one reality. And so it would make sense to look directly right now, what is the reality of our experience? What is it in our experience right now that does not come and go? And you will find that there are no names or words for it, and yet there is a reality to this experience, which we refer to as awareness or presence. The I am. Not the I am a man or a woman or my story or my memory or my brothers and sisters and mother and so on. No. Just the pure I am, the pure beingness, awareness. So yes, you could say that this cannot be experienced because we're talking about what I am. You can experience an object, you can experience a perception from a point of view of a subject and an object. This is how we usually refer to the term experience, in terms of there is a duality, there is a subject and an object. And so there is perceiving and a perceiver and a perceived. So we could say that reality or truth cannot be experienced, but it does not mean that it is something apart from ourselves, because if there is something apart from ourselves, then there is duality, there is me and reality. When there is the self or I and reality as two separate things, then the reality that is separate from I is not whole, is not complete, because it has something separate to it, which is I. So I and the reality are one. There's only one reality, which we refer to as I am. So you cannot experience reality as a phenomenal experience, but you can know it as your very self. So this knowingness knows itself. I know I am. It is said that you cannot experience reality or you cannot know reality, but you can be it. But in fact, there is no way to speak correctly about it, because even if you are being it, then there is still a little sense of duality. One could say that reality, that you as truth, as reality, as oneness, as wholeness, as consciousness, as awareness, are aware that you're aware. So within awareness itself, there is a self-knowingness. I know I am, and I know I am aware. So there is, reality is made out of knowingness. It's not an empty space, an infinite empty space. It is actually an infinite space that is full of knowingness. But the knowingness is the space itself. So it's full of itself as knowingness. It's always referring to itself from itself. So you can know an object, you can perceive a tree, you can perceive a lake. So you are knowing this perception. But when you look closer at this knowingness, you will find that the perception that you know is intimate with yourself. It is not a phenomenal knowingness. It may seem that there is a tree out there, that there is a lake out there, but in your experience, you are knowing the tree or the lake, you're knowing this perception of the lake, but the perception that you're knowing is within yourself. It's not apart from yourself. There is nothing that you know that is apart from yourself. Look at that. So experiencing in fact is being. You experience the lake as being the lake. You experience the oak tree as being the oak tree. You experience your perception as being that perception. Right now, you're experiencing this experience, this conversation, as being this conversation. It is it's intimate with yourself. Even the thought that says Megdi is out there and I'm in Costa Rica, that very thought, which is speaking about these two separate objects, you experience that thought intimately within yourself. From the perspective of being a separate self, from the perspective of being a body mind, a man or a woman, or being somebody. From that perspective, there's already been a separation. I've already assumed and I've accepted the premise that I am a man or a woman. Once that premise is accepted without being examined, it becomes sort of your default mode. You will find yourself experiencing objects and relationships with an external, that has an external and an internal dimension. But as soon as you start to contemplate and to examine the validity and the veracity of being the body-mind, things start to shift. You will start to notice that, in fact, no, you're not experiencing anything outside of yourself. And that shift comes with your understanding that you are this aware presence, that in fact you are awareness, and this awareness has no limitation and has no phenomenal quality, that there are actually nothing phenomenal in the entire universe. You never experience anything outside of yourself. Take a look at that. So if you never experience anything outside of yourself, you need to come to understand that. Then you're always experiencing yourself. And you only experience yourself as being yourself. You already are that. You already are the self. As soon as you separate yourself, you will start to experience something outside of yourself, and you will start to experience the emotions of fear, anxiety, worry, or concerns, which are strictly founded on your unexamined belief in a dualistic realm, in an external reality, in a physical reality. We believe in a physical reality. And so we live under that impression, the dream of mortality. The dream of mortality is connected with the belief in physicality, the belief in matter, the belief in form. We have somehow overlooked that it is the formless that is taking on the impression of form, but not the reality of form. There is only one reality. You can refer to it as the formless self, as presence, as being, as awareness. You don't need to refer to it as anything because it has no name. So in your question about experiencing, contemplate what is the experiencer. Is there an experiencer as a separate experiencer, or is your experience totally made out of experiencing, of knowing? Right now in your experience, is there a separate experiencer, or is it all your entire experience made out of experiencing that has no separation in it, no body in it that is standing outside of it experiencing it? So when you contemplate the experiencer, you will just come to the understanding that it's just experiencing, and that this experiencing, its substance is empty. It is just made out of itself, of awareness, of knowingness. It doesn't have a physical substance. Its substance is the I am, the I am.